So today I'm going to show you how to fix a problem with this sliding door. So mine won't open at the moment. I can open it on the inside, but I can't open it from the outside. Let's just lock the van. So I'm going to lock it. There we go. You can see my little flasher indicated it's locked. So if I now unlock it again, double click. There we go. It's unlocked now. And I can come to this door here. Opens absolutely fine. Come to this door here and it won't open. I go inside like that. I use this handle, opens absolutely fine. Okay, and then I can shut it again like that. Won't work. Okay, but still on the inside it works absolutely fine. Okay, so what is going on there? Now I had exactly the same problem on this orange van, which I also have. So I've got two T5s luckily, and I'll show you what happened there. So we'll come around to this one. This van had exactly the same problem. They both went wrong at the same time. And I also had a problem where every time I locked this van, the alarm would go off and I couldn't work out what was going on for ages. But again, I managed to work it out. So if I just show you now, I'll unlock that one there. See, the light flashed to say it's unlocked. But whenever I locked it, that started flashing and then my alarm would sound. And I couldn't work out what was going on. And it turned out to be this catch in the back of this door at the end. But initially I couldn't open this door. This door did the exact same thing, but now opens no trouble at all. Okay, it opens actually quite easily. There you go. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to take the door mechanism out, how to take the catch out, what's involved in doing that. I'm going to strip it all down, show you exactly how it works. Now I did all that because I was trying to work out what was wrong with the door and why it wouldn't open. And also possibly save myself £278 for a brand new locking mechanism. And of course I did get the door open again by making it a little tweak to the latch. So I'll show you what I did to do that. So the tweak which I made to the locking mechanism has worked and it's been working fine for the last year. But in the process of making this video, I think I realized what the actual problem was. So even though I stripped the lock all apart and tried to find out exactly what the problem was, I didn't actually come across the reason. But then in editing this video, I was watching what I was doing and it suddenly occurred to me probably what the problem was. So if you don't want to know how you take the lock apart, the latch apart, then you can just jump to that chapter and I'll tell you exactly what I think the problem is. Again, I'm just kind of guessing that that's what the problem is, but I'm pretty sure that it's a pretty simple fix and you don't need to go stripping the whole door apart to fix this problem if you can't open your door from the outside. But if you do want to know how to take this locking mechanism out, of course, I'll explain how you do that. The video did turn out to be a lot longer than I was anticipating, but that's pretty much how long it took me to do the job. Now, one last thing before I get into it, the orange van, which you saw in the start of the video, I've now sold that and I've bought myself a crafter, which I'm going to turn into a camper van. So if you're interested in how to convert a regular van like this into a camper van, then obviously check out the videos, which I'll be making down below. I'm going to be doing this over a long time, so maybe the next 6 months. So yeah, keep checking those and I'm going to be updating those as I go through the build. Now the first thing I need to do is to remove this panel. So if you've got a camper van, this is a really good way of storing stuff. We keep all our toiletries in it, but you can keep all sorts of odds and ends in there. But anyway, I need to remove this panel. If you just got the plain wooden one, then you just obviously got to take the poppers off. Now I don't know if you've seen these poppers before, but here's the ones which came off here. Now usually with these ones, which are on your standard panel, you can just get a tool like this and you can put it underneath there and you can lever these things open. Or if you're lucky, you might be able to get an Allen key in there and unscrew these, and then these will just come out quite easily. But these ones here, which came with this panel here, I couldn't get these off. I actually had to chisel them off. I couldn't get them to come apart. No matter how much I tried prizing them, they just wouldn't come back out again. So I actually had to chisel them off. Now I did put it back on temporary because I wanted to use the van, obviously which I've been doing. So I just put some of the old ones back on there, and they don't really fit though. They need to be longer, so just bear that in mind if you would get on these. But you just get your tool like that, put it underneath here, and then you can give it a lever. Try not to scratch your paintwork, of course, and then they just come out like that. There you go, there's one of those taken out like that. Okay, So I've already taken this apart because I was trying to work out what was going on. So you're taking out my insulation, which was in here. And now we're left with the lock. So we've got the locking mechanism just here. And then we've got a cable which runs back here, which goes to the catch, which is on the back of the door. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this unit out and I'm going to take the catch off the back of the door. And we're going to take a look. I'm going to strip this thing down and show you exactly what's inside it. So to remove the locking mechanism, we want to just unplug it. So you've got a plug on the bottom here. And these plugs here I find really tricky to get apart. Now this was actually broken because I was messing about with it. So it is just a case of giving it a wiggle and pulling it apart. But there is usually a little catch here which you have to press, and you can see the two bits pull apart like that. And then that cable stays joined onto your lock-in mechanism just here. So that's now disconnected. Now we've got these 3 bolts here which you need to undo. So now I need to take this lock off here, and I've got a M8 bit here. This is the star drivey thing. I've already undone this once, so I'm just going to loosen these off again. Okay, so take those out. I'm going to remove all 3 bolts. Now I do have 2 T5s, luckily. One used to be my work van, but I've converted it to a camper van. So I'm just going to take this one off here, and I was able to swap these locks around when I was trying to work out what the hell was going on, particularly with my orange van, because the alarm kept going off. It was driving me insane. I couldn't work it out. But anyway, so there we are. So that's the last bolt, and now this unit is now loose. And there's nothing really holding it in. You can take it out, but it is quite hard to get it out. So I was trying to get it out initially thinking, how the hell does this thing come out? And you kind of got to slide it down a bit, because on the handle on the top here, there's a bar that comes down and it goes into the top of the latch mechanism. And you can actually see it through that hole there. So when you come to take this out, you're actually pulling against this bar here, which is why it makes it a little bit tricky to get it out. But you can get it off without taking this off. But if you take this handle off, it is a bit easier. To get this off now, it's just a case of giving it a wiggle, and you need to pull it downwards a bit. So kind of give it a wiggle. You can see that it pulls down, and then I can move it across. Now, like I said, when I first took this out, this was a real struggle. It just didn't want to come out. You're also pulling it down off the handle. You can see there's 2 white clips that the mechanism is pushed onto. But you can see this time, because I've already moved it once, it's kind of quite easy. You can see it's just a bit awkward, it's just trying to get this thing out. It just doesn't want to, you just got to keep wiggling it around until you find the roots. Obviously you don't want to strain anything. And don't forget, you've still got your lock attached onto this, so that's one of the reasons why it's tricky to get out. And just be careful with your cable, which is here. Okay, and there we go. Now I don't really want to take this handle off. Actually, I said I would, but I don't think I really want to, because this here, I know it's held in by a clip on the bottom. So this plastic panel here, it pulls off, and then there's a clip just there, and it pulls forwards like that. And then there's 2 bolts which hold the handle in, and you can just undo the 2 bolts and lift the whole handle out. But this is behind my van shades blind here, so I don't really want to be taking that off, because then I have to take this off as well, and I didn't really want to do that. So yeah, I'm going to leave that in there. But you can see that mechanism comes down, and then inside here you can see the bar is sticking down there. There's the bar. See, when I turn the handle like that, when I pull that there, it twists that bar there. Okay, and I'll show you how that operates inside the lock in just a sec. So now I've got the locking mechanism just there, cable still attached, going to the back of the door, so I need to take the latch off the back of the door now. Again, we use the same size bit as before. In the back of the door, we've got 2 bolts, and again, exactly the same. Just put our little spanner into that. Oh, my door wants to slide shut. Obviously, be careful of that, because when it does, it's going to slide into your paintwork, so be careful with that. I don't want to be doing that. So I'm going to try and hold the phone and try and hold my door open. Again. 1, 2, finger tight now. So I can do 1 like that. Okay, and I can do the other one. Okay, that's both those bolts removed now, and now this whole latch mechanism here is now loose. Now I've undone those 2 bolts, I can now just lift this out. Okay, it's not held in with anything else, it just lifts out. And there we are, there's the latching mechanism just there. Take a bit of insulation with it, and you can see the cable coming through there. So now I'll try and show you how this mechanism works and how it affects the latch on the back here. So obviously we got the cable running around there going into the latch, and obviously when the handle is pulled, this pulls this lever across here, so you can see it pulls that lever there. Okay, and then we've got the latch just here, so if I push that down, similar to the door locking, that's the door now locked, and when you pull the cable it releases like that. Now on my other van where I had the alarm going off every time I lock the van, that's an older T5, it's a 2004 plate. And on the back of that door latch there is an additional micro switch. And when the door closes, that micro switch switches and makes a connection and tells the central locking that your door is closed. And on my orange van that switch failed. Now on this newer T5, it doesn't have that micro switch there, but there is a micro switch on the door. So if I show you that somewhere, it's on the door here. If I can find it, there it is, just there. So that's the micro switch just there. So that one there, that button is the one which tells you whether the door is shut or open. So you get in trouble with the lock-in, it may be this micro switch here. And like I said on my orange van, it was a micro switch on this unit here. So just be aware of that. Okay, so that's what caused my other van for the alarm to keep going off all the time. All right, so let's show you how this thing works. Let's just lock that latch again. So push that down like that. That's the door locked, like that. Okay, and then when you turn this lever here, so when you pull the handle, push the handle on the inside, it rotates this, that pulls on that cable just there, which then opens the door. And there you go, see the latch release there. One more time, put that down, turn this, and there it opens up. Now the handle on the outside, that works by pushing down on this part here, and you can see it's a little bit, there's a little wear mark just there. You can see where it's actually been rubbing, where that part there rubs on the top, and what happens there is it pushes down on this. Okay, and then it pushes, and you see when it pushes there, you can see the lever moving again. So if I just lock that catch again, 1, 2, it is locked, push that down, and the door opens. See, so when I push this down, I can open it. So it's working fine. But the question is it's not going far enough for some reason. Over time, I think as players developed in this, and this here now, there's some play in it before it pushes down on the mechanism. See that, how that moves like that? And I think that can be part of the reason for why it was failing and it's not opening the door. So interesting enough also, when you turn this lever, okay, it pulls one side, it pulls this little cable here, which doesn't seem to be connected onto anything. Maybe it's on a different vehicle where this is connected also, but when you turn it the other way, that's when it pulls on the catch on the back door. Okay, not that way, but that way. Okay, then that seems to work fine. So shall we take a look inside here and see what's going on inside this? So let's take a look inside this unit. It is pretty straightforward to come apart. You got a screw here, so I'm just going to do that with a Torx bit. Not sure what size this Torx is, but let's just say small Torx to go in there. The ones on the outside I found are different to the ones on the inside, but it's pretty straightforward. You can tell which ones they are because they look different. Okay, there's that one there. Okay, that one. And we've got 3 of those on the outside. They just screw to plastic, tappers like that. Okay, 3 tappers, and then we've got 3 in the middle here. So we've got 1 here, and these are just going to a brass screw thread like that. And there's a hidden one underneath here. So inside here, you can peel a label off. I'm not going to bother, I'm just going to stab it straight through it. There we go. Unscrew that one there, like that. There we go. There it is, that one's come out now. Okay, and you, like I said, you can see it's a different thread. It's a fine thread. So now we'll take this apart, there's little clips all the way on the outside. So just in case of releasing them, just get yourself a little screwdriver. I'm going to use this tool here because I can't be bothered to get a screwdriver. Okay, you can just release these all the way around the outside. Okay. Okay, obviously bear in mind, you be careful with this, don't turn it upside down when you're doing this, because you don't want everything falling apart and having a mess of bits everywhere. Okay, so keep this the same way up and you should be fine. And like I said, when I did this before, nothing twanged out or anything, so just gently give it a little wiggle. Oh, I can see there's something moving there. Lift that off like that, there we go. Just make sure nothing's stuck in there. There we are. So there's nothing on this side here, just some grease and such like. So there's nothing to see on that side. But here is our locking mechanism. Okay, so that just fits down on there. You've got electric motor here. Obviously that winds on there and operates the locking mechanism. I'm not going to do with that because obviously I don't want to mess any of this up. But you can see what happens here. This thing here, okay, it pushes down on this metal bar. Okay, which when it does that, it then pushes that and pushes it and makes it lever. Okay, you can see how that works there. Trying not to get myself all greasy now, but you can see how that operates. You can see that catch moving there. Okay, and obviously when you twist this one here, this does exactly the same thing. Okay, this one wants to jump out when I twist it. You can see it pushes on that lever, and again does exactly the same thing. So this one here, this just comes across like that, moves backwards and forwards. So you could try putting some oil on this, or some oil on the cable. So I think there's several reasons why this lock has stopped working. I think one is this lever here, this that goes up and down here. This is just worn a bit because it is plastic. See, there's some play in it. I think maybe over time this is just worn on the bottom, and there's just a little bit of play there. And also possibly the cable has stretched, because you've got a cable here, and the cable has stretched a bit, and just so that extra movement is not letting it open, and the cable stretched a bit again, because it only needs to go a tiny little bit more, and then the door opens. Because I've proved that by pushing it down. It does work, it just doesn't quite go far enough. So that's the couple of reasons there. Now I did look at possibly bending this a bit, because I thought maybe this has got bent, but you can see this has been pressed, this line here has been pressed into the steel to make that actually a very strong piece of metal there. So that's not going to really move, so we can't really do much with that. So I think in general I decided I wasn't going to do anything with this inside here. It is way too complicated, and you mess it up, it's not going to work at all. And I'm trying to not buy myself a brand new £150 locking mechanism. I'm trying to fix the one I've got. So that's what we got inside there. I hope that gives you some idea, if you're going to take it apart, what you're going to find. So now you're just going to put this back again. Okay, I mean I could put some oil on these and just oil it up and make sure it's nice and free. I did that on the other lock, but I think I'm happy with this one. Everything seems to be pretty much free. And now I can just put this back on top carefully, making sure this lock here stays in the right place. You can see it just drops on into place like this, and then we can just push the catches down, and it just catches all together like that. There we go. And obviously we can just check that again. See, push that button down like that, you can see the catch operating over there. So yeah, so the side is not much I can do with that. This one here still works okay, so I can put all the screws back in again. Okay, so put that back there, do that one there up. So now I'm going to show you how you take this part here apart and take a look at it and make some adjustments, or show you how it works anyway. So this bit of plastic, this is a rain trap. Now you can, the way this comes off, if you've got to pull it this way, there's two little clips, one here and one over there behind there, and that's, you need to pull it away, pull it towards us to pull it off. Initially when I did the first one, I pulled it down, and it kind of, you know what it's like, it's plastic bits, it broke a little bit, and then I realized how it actually comes apart. So you've got to pull it this direction. See how that come off there then? Pull it forwards. Okay, and it's also glued on, so just bear that in mind. There's some like sticky glue to catch it. So I'm trying not to get my hands on my nice carpet here. There we go, that's come off now. So that's how you get that off. Now definitely you don't want to be pulling it down, and you can see that sticky gluey stuff here on there, and on the bottom there's a rain tube here. You can pull that off, but you can also just leave it on. What I do, actually, what I take it off for you just to show you what we've got. So I'll pull that tube off, and like I said, see, we've got all this like sticky stuff. So we've got a clip here, and we've got a clip here, and that clips on to this part just here, so it pushes back onto that bit just there. So now how to take the handle off. Here's the handle inside here. Okay, so how do we take that off there? So first of all, we need to undo this little screw here. We don't need to take it all the way out, but we do need to undo it. So again, get a little Torx bit in there and undo this, loosen that off. Again, mine's not too tight because I've already played around with this. Okay, so I'm going to loosen this off, and that allows that bit there then to slide backwards and forwards like that. So I'm going to undo that. Okay, don't lose this screw, we need this, so I'm going to screw it all the way. I'll just do it there somewhere. That'll do, because that's far enough away, and that holds in the key part here. So some vans might have a key in here, mine hasn't got a key, but now I can go to the outside. So now I can then hold this, give this a wiggle, and this then pulls out. There we go, that pulls off like that. Okay, and then once that's off, like that, the handle now slides backwards. Okay, so it slides back like that. So I'm going to show you, going to hold the door. High door slants back, and then it comes out like that. You go, give it a wiggle, there you go, slide it back, and then it comes off. Okay, see how there's a little kind of just comes around like that. You just slide it in there. It's just literally held in, it's just plastic, it's just held in by plastic. And there we are. And don't lose these little rubber bits, okay? You can buy them if you lose them, but obviously that's going to protect your paintwork. Anyway, so that's that bit there. Remove that's a handle removed. Now we've got a little screw on the outside here. Again, we just remove that one there. That was Torx bit again. And do this screw here. Don't lose this screw, because we need this when we put it back together again. Okay, my handle might just drop off now, so I might need to, what should we do? Okay, I might just let it drop off. There we are, that's fine. Now I don't want to lose that screw, so we're just going to hold on to that. There we go, just a little Torx, little screw there. Put that down there. Right, let's go back inside. Okay, so here's my handle now. Here's my spout. Tip me up and pull me out as the rhyme goes. Now I can just take that whole handle out. So that's the whole handle mechanism there. Okay, and if I try and show you how this here operates. It's decided to be a nice sunny day today, so it's kind of giving me a bit of havoc with the camera. So anyway, this is our door latch. So this is on the outside of the door, or this is the outside, so that's the panel of the door there, so it's paneled onto there. Now what happens here is the handle goes inside here, okay, it just fits inside here. There's a little slot there, see it goes into there. Oh, there's my rubber bit. It goes inside there like that. See, it just slots inside there. So when you slot it in here like that, you need to put the back in as well, like that. Slide that down and then push the handle shut, and then you push it forwards. And then it engages in that latch part at the back there. So then when you pull this, pulls this arm here, and that pulls that arm up and down. Pretty straightforward, okay? And this arm here is pushing down on our latch. So here's our mechanism over here. So that bit there is pushing down. Ooh, try and show this. So this bit here is pushing down on that bit there. See, so that goes like that. Now this does actually clip together. See, there's a little clip just here. Oh, just show you. So that clips onto there, and that clips onto there. So this does actually clip together. So that clips onto there, and that clips onto there. So you've got a little clippy part here. Not a bit too close, haven't I? And you've got this clippy part here. So those two bits do actually clip together. And then you can see how the handle here is now in position. Get rid of that fluffy stuff there. Messing it up. Okay. You can then see a handle here. Let's make this a little bit brighter for you. There we go, a little bit brighter. Okay, so now you can see when you pull on the handle like that, it pulls this latch, and you can see it's pulling down, and it pushes on that part there again. See how it pushes there? Pushes down on that, and that's what opens it. But again, it's not doing it enough. If I do it, let's get this into focus. Here's my latch. Okay, let's just lock the door like that, and pull on the handle on the outside. Where is it? There it is. Try and get all this in shot. I'm gonna pull on the handle like that, pull it down. It's just not going far enough. Just doesn't push this down far enough. This needs to go down further to there, and it's just not going far enough. Now whether this has become bent, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it can really. And so I'll just take this back off again, so that just comes off there. Okay, I mean, look at that bit there. I mean, this is aluminium, it's cast aluminium. I don't think this can really bend. This can't pull out anymore. It actually has a stop point. So, you know, there's no way you can adjust that. Okay, so it just hits on this plastic part here. So you can't pull that any further open. Okay, so you kind of stuck, that's it. It's not going to do anything else. I'd thought about And also maybe this is worn down a bit. I mean, it doesn't look like it's worn very much, but maybe it's worn down a bit. Like I said, maybe this play inside here, this is causing it not to work because there's a little bit of play there. Okay, but what I did in the end, okay, to show you what I did, is because I couldn't work it out, I'm thinking maybe the cable stretched now inside here. So there's several different things which could be causing this door not to open. But what I did in the end was I bent this lever here. I put it in my vise and I just bent it a little bit, and that's what sorted it out. So because obviously this has a fair bit of play before it opens the catch here. So if I lock that again, so you've got a lot of movement before it gets anywhere near opening the catch. And because there's no electrical components on this, it actually doesn't make any difference. Okay, so what I did is I bent this back this way a bit so it put more pressure on it. Okay, so if you want to take this apart, okay, so what you need to do then is I get my little tool again. This tool comes in pretty handy, and I carefully just lever this out of here like that. There we go, that's that levered out. And you can see that actually this lever moved back a bit then, see? But I think possibly the cable is stretched. I mean, it's hard to tell. Maybe it has, but be careful with this bit, because this bit here broke on my other van. I had to kind of hold it in with some clips, so be careful. Let me just try and figure out how this comes apart again. I think you twist it and it slides it through the slot. This is a job for the long nose pliers, so I think you need to get a pair of long nose pliers and just pinch those two together, and it should pop out through the hole. So let's go and do that. It's like a tricky little thing. This is actually slightly different to the other van. Oh, I don't like this. So I've got this little cable out now. You can see it's just a cable, and it's got these two clips. And be careful, because on my other van this did actually snap off, but I wrapped a cable tie around here, and I managed to secure it around. I sort of looped it around here, and I managed to hold it on with that. So just be careful if you're trying to get this apart. Now I'm going to try and bend this. I'm going to take it inside, put it in my big vise, and just try and bend that a little bit further. I'll just measure that from there to there and see how much I can move this in this direction. It only needs to go a little bit, and that'll sort it out. And that's what I did in my other van, and like I said, it did sort it out. Yeah, I mean, has this bent? I mean, like I said, something's worn somewhere anyway. I mean, again, it could be part of this latching mechanism down inside here. Maybe that's worn, and that's why this has to move further. Difficult to say. You can't take this apart without removing rivets and drilling stuff, so that's not really an option. Okay. You can now see I've got that clamped into my vise here, and what I'm going to do is just get a screwdriver, put it against the top here, and give it a bit of a tap. Now, unfortunately, I didn't press record when I did that, so I haven't got me actually doing that, but I can show you the end result. So that's all I did, and that seemed to do the job. Be careful though, don't hit it too hard. It does seem to bend quite easily. So hopefully that's that fixed now. I've given this little bend, so it is a little bit bent now. So I'm going to see if that's sorted out. We can test that pretty simply by just grabbing the cable. Here's my cable here. I can then just put it back in its hole like that, and all we do is just push this back in. Now when this snaps off on my other one, I actually made this a little bit longer, because it was the way it was snapped. I could actually extend the cable slightly, so basically just shortening the cable. So that's another option you could possibly think of. So I'm just going to grab this little thing here, and we're going to rotate that around and grab my long nose pliers. Just get this bit of foam off here. There we go, fluffy stuff on there. You can see it's all a bit fiddly piddly. Push that down into there, and then this just pushes in. Just be gentle with it though. There we go, clip into there. Right then, the moment of truth, let's just lock this again. Okay, that's now locked, and see how far this has to go down before it releases. Okay, now the catch was going down roughly to about there. Okay, so it's a little bit better. I can see that it's not all the way down. Let's see with the handle then. So I've got my handle just here. Okay, let's lock the catch again. Okay, clip the handle on top. That clips into place like that. Clip there, like that. Again, here's something to note is that obviously this moves up and down like this. This is like pieces of plastic here, and if you can push the lock up further, so you can push the lock further up, okay, it's going to be closer to this lever, which is going to put more effort on it. So it did go through my mind that I could probably just file off these plastic bits. So I could probably even cut these off, because all it's doing is just holding this in place. This is going to be bolted inside the door anyway, and then once you put this into position, you got the holes line up anyway. And I thought I could always elongate the holes in the door. I mean, there's all sorts of options I was thinking of to try and fix this problem. Anyway, push that onto there like that, push that onto there like that. Okay, catch is still catched. Okay, and like that. And I guess, you know, see how this moves? I mean, maybe there's a bit of movement here, but you can see that's pushing on there. Right here, da, 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 da. This is now locked. Pull on our handle, and that pushes on the lever. You can see that. Oh, and it did. Only just though, but it did unlock. See, push that down. Remember, this can only, it stops. Okay, there's no, you can't push this pull this any harder. Once you reach that position, that's it, it's locked. See there, look, it's only just, doesn't quite do it still. It's not going far enough. It's really frustrating. I mean, I thought maybe I could fix something top of here, maybe put a nut and bolt in there, maybe that would work. God, dear me, really, really annoying. It's still not quite right. Okay, so I've just done some more bending. I've probably bent this too far now, but you can see that hole, which was once round, this one here isn't round at all. And it's surprising how easy this actually bends. This is quite soft. I don't know if that's a strategic move that they've made this quite soft, but I think that this could be part of the problem. If you pull this handle, this pulls quite hard. I think it can bend this over time. But you see, I've bent it back again. But again, maybe the cable's stretched, who knows. But anyway, let's just give that a whirl. So stick my cable back through again. It clips into there. You can see how it clips in like that. Clipped in. We can then pull this onto here. Once again, rotate it around, push it in the hole like that. Careful that we don't strain anything on the way. Oh, they're so fiddly, these things. But I guess if this saves me £150 for a new locking mechanism, it hasn't taken me too long to do this once I knew what I was doing, then maybe that's all good. It did go through my mind that maybe this would bend back again. Okay, push that into there. That's pushed into there now. Let's make sure that it is clipped in, because you don't want to clip it to pop out. Okay, means that is in all the way in. Not quite, no, it's not quite all the way in. Come on, get in there properly. There we go, clip in there. Now, when it's in there properly, it sort of pokes out the bottom there. It's all hard to see there, but pokes out the bottom. Now, you can't take this plastic thing out and move it up. I did think about doing that, but these are different holes, and this is a much bigger bit of metal here. You can take it out, but you'll see that you can't do it. Right, let's just try this again. Lock the door locked. Okay, handle's still in here. Let's see if we can see this now then. Nearly on the latch. It's got to work this time, hasn't it? It's got to work. Okay, here's my latch. Okay, you can see that quite clearly there. Well, hopefully, let's pull the handle. Oh, my word. You'll pull the handle and the latch all at the same time. Yeah, that went quite easily that time. Just trying to look at whereabouts this releases here. See, everything's trying to spring. Nothing wants to work with me here. It all wants to go the opposite way to where I want it to go. That's okay. See See, I think this is part of the problem. This play here Why there's become so much play here, I don't know, but there's play here, obviously play inside there. Now, as I was editing this, it suddenly went through my mind that maybe the thing which is worn is the handle which I'm holding my hand there now. The back part of the handle where you got that 90-degree angle, that pulls against the aluminium lever. And the handle is only made of plastic, and any dirt and dust can get into that part of the handle. And gradually over time it's going to wear that plastic away, because every time you pull the handle, the aluminium lever pivots and it will move up and down on the handle, gradually rubbing it away. And that dirt and dust will act like sandpaper. Now I'm thinking you have two options. You can either just buy a new handle, or you can try fixing the one that you've got. You could try gluing a piece of thin stainless steel onto the 90-degree angle on the handle. Or maybe you could build it back up with a bit of epoxy resin. If you try doing this, let me know how you get on in the comments. Let everybody know that that's all you need to do, is to buy a new handle. OMG, is that all I needed to do? Or if you decide to repair it, let us know how you get on. Really interested to know if that actually fixes the problem. Because having a quick look on the internet, it looks like a new handle is about £70. Right, now back to my video where I'm showing you how to put everything back together again. I just want to jump in here quickly. If you're finding this video useful and you want to say thanks, then a cup of coffee is always really appreciated. And you can do that by clicking on the links. Right, so now it's just a case of putting it all back together again. Right, so what do we do first of all? So first thing to do is to put the handle back on, the handle mechanism. So just take the handle off here, like that. Handle's off. Now we can put this bit here back into the door. Right, so that's going back into the door now. So here's the mechanism here. You just got to put that in there. Just remember that screw there. Now originally this door mechanism would have had some little clips just here, and then when you put this onto the door it would have held it on the door whilst you put the little screw in. But this handle's obviously been taken off before and it's had a respray at some time, and these little clips which hold it on the door have been damaged and they're no longer there. So I'm just going to have to hold it against the door and then put that little screw in. We can't lock it into position, so I'm just going to have to put it there, and then I'll probably have to do it from this side here. So let's just open the door up. Then I'm going to get my torque screwdriver here and just do it up. Okay, so that's that on. Now, like I said, there were some clips. There was a little plastic clip here, a little plastic clip here, which went over the top and held that into position. And there was also one on the back here. I'm not sure about the front, but again, it kind of held this latch, or the handle mechanism, it held it onto the door panel. But those have obviously been broken off. Maybe they broke them off when they were spraying the van. That's a good possibility. Here's my black plastic bit that goes onto there to protect the paintwork with the door. I've already got one on here that there's still on there. Yeah, that little plastic piece here, just on the end there. That's there to protect the handle. Then I can just put that into the hole like that, put it back like that, and slide it forwards like that. Okay, you know when you got it on there properly, because the handle is then springy. Okay, it springs against pulling on the latch inside there. Okay, so that's good. Now we can now put that next piece in, slide the door back, grab the next piece, there we are, and that just slots into there like that. There we are, push that one in. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now I can do it with a screw on the inside, back inside again, back up inside here, there's that screw there. You can do this one here up. You can see how that pushes against that little mechanism there and just holds it all in place. This actually slides back and forwards, and it's pulling that back, locking it into position. Okay, look, torque's on there. Don't go crazy with these. You're not trying to hold your wheels on the car, you're just nipping it up. Don't want anything to break. There we go, one last bit maybe. Yeah, that's tight enough for me. Right, now you can see how we got all this gluey stuff here, all the way around the bottom there, which is holding, just sort of sealing this, where is it, this thing over here. It's just sealing that onto there. Okay, you can see that sealant on there. There's gooey stuff here, which goes all the way around. Okay, so let's try and stick that back on. Now, like I said, this slides on here. We got a clip here, and we got a clip here, and that slides onto that little part here, and then the little part somewhere over there where I can see it. I can't even see it. It's, oh yeah, it's way over there in the back there. Okay, so that's where that slides on. Right, hopefully we've now got enough of this sticky stuff in place. Now I'm going to push this into here. I can line it up onto this one here quite easily, and hopefully I can line it up on the one on the back there as well. Can I see it through that hole there? I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. I can put my finger through there. Yeah, I got it on there. Okay, so that's in the right place. Push it back onto that sticky stuff. So that's all on there. Okay, so that's that rain catching thing put back on again. Don't forget this hose on the bottom here. Just push that back on there, otherwise it's pointless. So okay, that's just going onto there like that. There we go, push that on. Happy with that. Now we've got to struggle to get the whole latching mechanism back in. So here's our whole latching mechanism. Now is this thing here, we need to guide it up inside the door here. So this is where it kind of sits. You can see the screw there. So that sits right there like that, and you got the latching, the lock comes up here, and you've got to poke it up through that hole there, and then we've got this mechanism just here. So that's where we're aiming to get it. So we've got to try and get this up here. It is doable, it is tricky. Like I said, it's easy to take the handle off. Definitely if you haven't got a window on there or a blind, I'd probably say take that off, because it does make it a bit easier. Right, let's try getting it in here though. So let's slide it in like that. So now the tricky bit is getting this to go up here and through this hole here. That's the tricky part. Okay, so I'm going to try and slide it in there. I can see it through this little gap here, so let's see it just there. And now I've got to slide it up and then try and get it in. Now I've done this before and it's just gone straight in, but now I've got my torch on. Hopefully we'll then be able to see it and freaking work out where the hell it is. Okay, now there is a little tiny little hole which you've got to poke it through, so it is pretty small. So if you don't get it lined up with that hole, that's why you really want to use a head torch. Okay, I've got that, and it's poking up through there. Now let's line up with that, and there we go. Okay, a crazy head torch here. All right. So now we've got that in line. So now it's just a case of lining up the bolt holes. Again, you can see how tricky this thing is. Remember, you've got to push it up onto those plastic clips on the top there. So I think I've got one. I don't know if I can see the other one through here. And also, of course, we're also lining it up with the handle here. So the handle there comes down the bar. We're also lining that up, but that kind of lines it automatically because it's in the same place. But trying to get this last. Okay, so what I'm going to do, one of those bolts in just to hold it in place. I don't want it dropping down again, so I'm just going to put that one into there. Just temporary. There you go, that's that one temporary in there like that. Okay, well that was pretty simple. So I'm trying to push up here to get this thing lined up, but the little popper on the top there, the little button on the top, we can't quite see it. It dropped down inside and stopped me from pushing it up. So I just got to make sure I move it to the side, and there you go, that's lined up those screws perfectly. So now I got these other two screws lined up, so I can put that one into there and that one into there. So here's another little thought for you. There is a bit of play on this. See how that play? Now if this is further up, then it's further to the handle lever. So the lever's got more push. If it's right down at the bottom, there's going to be more of a gap. So I kind of think if you can do this up with this pushed all the way up, that'll be better. Let's just make sure that this is working. So we've got that lever here. And there, that's pulling that there. So that's working all right. Let's just do these up and see how it goes. So I'm pushing this up, so there's quite a bit of movement there. So do this one here up like that. This one here up like that. And this one here like that. There we go. That's those finger tight. Now I think we can check this again. Let's just lock this catch. See the catch is locked there. Try not to get everything greasy. There we go, that releases. If I lock it again, 1, 2, let's try the handle outside. Okay, let's see if that's going to work. And there we go, that releases nice and easily now. So there you go, good job. Okay, I've now fixed that. So maybe there's a different way of doing it. Maybe there's a better way. I don't know, you tell me if you come across a better way of doing this. Let me know in the comments. I can do it like tight now because I'm not taking it back out again. Okay, do that one up. Again, don't do this crazy tight. This is screwing into, these are steel screwing into brass. So don't go crazy trying to get these too tight. You strip the brass, okay? There we go, that's nice. That's nice there. Okay, looking good. So now what I've got to do is to put the latch back on in the back, reconnect the central locking, and then we are good to go. So here's my central lock-in. I can just put that back onto there, like that, clip that in. Obviously there's no clip to hold this in place. I don't think this is going to move. Lots of insulation, I've got to put some more insulation back into there. Obviously that can now tuck back inside here, out the way. Now whilst I had this all apart, I thought I'd take the opportunity just to check the central lock-in electrical connection. But I decided to put that on another video because this video is way longer than I was first anticipating. And finally, we have the latching mechanism, which goes on the door. That's obviously make sure that that is open. Okay, we don't want it slamming on the door. Okay, and then make sure you don't kink this and break that. But that just slides down inside here. Pretty straightforward. Gently just put it in the top of the door there, and that just goes right to the back of the door. It only goes one way around with the latch bit facing inwards. So okay, so put that down there, right at the back there, like that. I can see it's roughly in position there. Then we've got the cable that runs along the top. There is a little clip which this cable clips onto, just there. So we can put that onto there, clip that cable onto there like that. That keeps that in place. Although I'm going to be putting this container back in there, so this cable is actually going to be pushed right to the back. Okay, looking good. So now it's just a case of putting a latch in. Here's the latch here. Okay, you just pull this up, pretty straightforward. All you've got to do is just put the bolts back in. So I'm just doing these up tight now. We're not going to take this back off again. They only go in one location. You can't make any adjustment with this. And it's just putting them on and doing them up tight. Make sure your catch isn't catched, which it isn't. See, it's a bit stiff. I could have put some more on there maybe. That would have made that a bit smoother maybe. Put that onto there. And now we can just do those up. One. Ooh, the door shutting again. Try and hold up my knee and just do that one up there. Tight and tight. Okay, so I think we're now all done. So right, now let's check everything. So we have our locking mechanism back in again. We've got the 3 bolts done up, 1, 2, 3. That's all done. We've got a cable connected down here. That's done. We've got our button poking up through the hole. I haven't got the button that goes on top, and our lever is connected. We can see that inside there, rotating. I'm going to pull the handle. There we are. That's good. Okay, so we are now ready for liftoff. 2 bolts done up on the back, and that's it. So we can just tuck this cable back again. As I said before, tuck that out of the way, inside the door there. And I'm going to put some more insulation back inside here. And of course, I've lined up my electrical connection. So we are all good to go. So I can now open the door without any problem. If you want to say thanks, then a cup of coffee is always really appreciated. If you found a different way to fix this, then let us know in the comments. I'll be really interested to know. Was it just a handle? Was it something else you had to do? Either way, let us know in the comments and let everybody know how to fix this if you can't get your door handle to open your door. And as usual, don't forget you can click on subscribe, ring on the bell, share it with your friends, anything else you want to do down below. Bye for now, see you next time.